Welcome to Cowhorse, Full Contact by Ben Self, with host Chris Dawson and Russell Dilday.
Cowhorse Full Contact is a view into the industry from our eyes, seeing some of the people that we've seen and grown up with, and getting to hear some of the stories we've loved our whole Cowhorse lives and would like to share with you. And along the way, we might come up with a little bit of information that helps you on your journey in the Cowhorse.
This episode brought to you by Hauser Furniture, Tishomingo, Oklahoma. Here we are back again.
Back at it.
Hardy Murphy Coliseum, Ardmore, Oklahoma. Here with Robert Smith, the high-scoring, not 2019 Snaffle Bit Futurity Open Rider.
Prelims. Hey. You got to win one before you can win the other.
Yeah.
I got a set of them stirrups. It's cool.
Yep.
It's cool. That was
Terrato.
yeah, so we're going to talk about the overnight success that is Robert Smith. He just showed up on the scene and won the prelims.
Bam. Knock, knock. I'm here.
There he is. He showed up today. Didn't recognize him really without his eyebrow ring from back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. When I first met Robert Smith, he worked for Jay Holmes, and he drove a truck that said "Ghetto Cowboy" across the windshield. Is the back windshield, front windshield?
Front windshield.
Front windshield.
Big white letters.
It was awesome. It was a Ford extended cab,
Yep.
a white Ford extended cab, Ghetto Cowboy. And he gets out, and then he shows up with an eyebrow ring, and I'm like, well, I like this guy. I like this guy. That's what I'm talking about. So super pumped to have you here with us. Yeah,
I'm super pumped to know how you came to think an eyebrow ring. What?
Hey, he went to work for Bobby Lewis with an eyebrow ring in.
I did.
That's what I thought. I was like,
How'd
man,
that
I like him, but
last?
He didn't ever say anything.
Really?
No.
So what was the thought process when you put it in?
Well, we went to go ice skating one night, actually, in
Yeah.
Florida, and the ice skating rink was shut down.
And
So
ice
weird.
skating in Florida, that on its own.
I love it when I love it when you start like this. This is gonna be great.
So it was shut down, so I went to the tattoo shop and got my eyebrow pierced.
That's a logical
Right.
second.
Yeah, I mean, perfect segue.
I was going to go team roping, and that was closed. So I got a hole punched in my ear. Or what?
That's awesome.
That's so hilarious to me.
So I guess let's get into a little bit of a professional interview. Talk to us a little bit about your horse that you showed Snaffle Bit last year. Sweet little babe.
Doolicious.
Doolicious.
A dual spark out of a Smart Luno mare. Bought her as actually my wife bought her the day she was born. We have the full brother who's 8 now. I showed him Snaffle Bit through the bridle, and she really liked him when I started him. So.
She's a full sister to him. Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. So
Very cool.
she claimed if that mare ever had a filly, she wanted it, and she was ugly as when she was born. She looked like,
We're shooting for PG.
oh, sorry. She looked like a little Clydesdale baby when she was born.
We could put her out there in the lead on the front of the
Pretty much.
Budweiser wagon.
Yep. So, but she was, she's been easy since the get-go.
Yeah.
She just wants to.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I remember you had her at the clinic there
Yep.
in Purcell. Yeah, she
Yep.
was good then. And
Yep.
went to Futurity and knocked it out. Was that your first open finalist?
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun right there. Yeah.
That's some pressure off when you make them finals.
Well, especially when you own them.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, you gotta owning them horses it's an essential part of it, really.
Yeah.
You know, and you're trying to make a living.
Yeah. Well, you got to have something to show, and
Right.
Well,
You
you
can't
don't have
trust
anything
nobody.
else to show, so
Yeah,
get
you
your own.
can't trust nobody else to let you have one.
Yep.
So here we are, overnight success, right? Just walked in Was that the first time the Snaffle Bit Futurity?
No.
No.
I knew that one.
Well, they say don't ask questions you don't already know the answers to, right?
I knew the answer to that one. How many times have you been, Robert?
Well, I showed 3 times as a non-pro. Won the amateur in 06 or 07, I think. And then that was my 3rd open Snaffle Bitter. I showed the full brother the last year. It was in Reno. Got ran over in the herd. Drove all the way from Florida for that. That was a lot of fun.
Ooh, well, how far? What's the drive from Florida to Reno, Nevada?
About 3,000 miles.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a good stretch of the legs.
Yep.
That's a nice little drive to reflect on the cow all the way home.
Yeah, all the way home. Yep. My second one was by the crowd loves me.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. He was really good at the pre-futurity and not at the big futurity.
Uh-huh.
So 3rd time there and make the open finals.
Yes.
Wow. That's fun.
That is fun.
That's fun.
So right now, you're in the current employ of Sean Hayes,
Yes.
as well as running your own business out of the Don Murphy Ranch.
Correct.
In Bernieville, Oklahoma, just a stone's throw across the river.
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes. How in the world do you make that work?
Well, you just don't sleep much.
It's a trend for the day. Again. Sleep deprivation is, it's going around.
Yeah.
It's more contagious than the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, well, take us back a little bit to the beginning, right? Let's go back and start where this fine specimen of a man in Robert Smith started.
Well, I started riding English horses.
Oh,
Earlier.
Easy.
back.
Back it on, keep backing it
The
on.
very beginning.
The very, like conception.
Well, okay.
Just after that. Birth.
Well,
Let's go with birth.
About 45 minutes at St. Mary's Hospital, and I was here.
That's right. We were talking about that yesterday,
Yep,
weren't we?
Yep. My dad's a vet in Florida. My mom worked for him. She rode jumpers and dressage horses when she was younger, and that's how we got into it.
And then in your childhood, were you raised right there in Florida then?
Yep. West Palm Beach, Florida.
And what kind of horses did your dad work on as a vet mostly?
Mostly jumpers. Dressage horses, yep. That's the biggest niche in Florida.
Oh, so not much. So go through high school, play sports much?
Nope, didn't play sports. Junior rodeoed, high school rodeoed, team roped, cap roped a little bit.
How we started with English.
Yes.
We glazed over this.
Glazed over.
So, come on, start there now. So you start riding English with your mom.
Yep. Rode jumpers, dressage horses, did pony club, the whole thing.
Right. How old are you when you're doing that?
12, 10.
12. Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Right on.
Yep.
How'd you get to the rodeo?
One of my best friends, Bobby Lyons, him and his dad roped a bunch, and I just started roping with them. We junior rodeoed together for 1 year, and then me and another friend of mine high school rodeoed for a year. And that was pretty much the end of my high school career, so I couldn't rodeo anymore.
So you didn't start
Wait a
when you
minute.
were a senior?
I didn't. My schooling wasn't great, but I don't think that added up to 4 years of high school.
I made it 2.
And then what happened, Robert?
I moved out of the house. I went to work for Jay Holmes. Worked there for a year or 2. Then went to work for Bobby.
So the truant officers didn't know where Jay Holmes' house were, apparently.
Pretty much.
I got you.
Yeah. So what kind of trouble were you getting into there, Robert, where
Well,
2-year high school career?
The best kind. Yeah.
No jail time? No?
No, I never went to jail in high school. I went to court a couple of times. Got to do anger management.
Nice.
Yep. At $140 an hour, you learn to count to 10.
And did that fix everything, or is it a little while till you got handled?
Yeah, I outgrew it more than counted through it.
So did Bobby, they rode with Jay, right? Bobby Lyons. That's how you got hooked up with Jay Holmes down there, and then decide you wanted to train rope horses, or just?
Well, I just really wanted to train horses.
I got you.
I wasn't going to go to vet school, obviously. So, just the next option.
With anger management, maybe structure, or was another issue? Taking direction was an issue.
Well,
at that age.
yeah, I don't know.
You say a lot of horse trainers are unemployable.
Yeah, I don't know. I hated school. That's all there was to it. I didn't want to be inside.
So what was Jay thinking?
I don't know. Cheap help.
What was Jay thinking?
So you're 16, you go to work for Jay, then something like that.
17, I think. Yep.
And what were you doing for Jay at that point in your life?
Well, I was doing a lot of breeding work, collecting studs, breeding mares, gophering, saddling, unsaddling, warming up.
Sure. You really hadn't. So you were at that time. You really hadn't done a ton of riding.
Oh yeah,
or had you?
Well, I wasn't working for him, but I roped in the AQHA stuff and shown a little on the Cowhorse and reining and pleasure horses and trail horses and I'd been.
So where'd you learn about this stuff? That's what. Yeah. Where'd you learn that stuff before you went to work for Jay? If you'd already been showing there.
We always had horses, and it just depended on
at home.
Yeah, at one point, my mom decided that she wanted to have pleasure horses, so we showed a couple of those, and then that just spun off. And I always liked roping better, so that was how I got to Jay's.
You struggled with high school, but you were always hooked on the horses.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that was always my plan. Wasn't my parents, but it was mine. Yeah.
Parents get a big part of parenting is disappointment.
Yes.
I'm soon to find out.
Yeah. Well, maybe not, but
it is a Dawson.
Maybe not.
Russell, the eternal optimist. Yeah. All right, so we do 2 years at Jay's?
Yeah, I think I was there for 2 years. And I left his and I went to work for non-pro Rainer in Ocala and rode some horses for him. And then I went work for Bobby. Ted Chancey hooked me up for that.
I got you. Who was the non-pro Rainer?
Angelo Barantini.
I got you. And how long did you stay there?
About 6 months.
I get you. Raining was too much one event?
Yep.
Too much one event. So, Oklahoma bound.
Yes.
To the great.
But what did you get out of Jay's before we leave him?
Oh, I got to rope a bunch and, learn that. And we did some Cowhorse when I was down there. And
so you got some experience in the Cowhorse pen and stuff there that you hadn't had as much of before?
Right. Yeah. The only time I ever showed in the Cowhorse really before that was on my little rope horse, and that was just filling AQHA classes.
Yeah, for fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay.
It's hard to get points in Florida.
I bet. But there was some exposure there.
Oh, yeah.
To the Cowhorse, huh?
Yep.
And this is what year-ish?
Late 90s.
Late 90s. Okay. Good.
That was my first Cowhorse. I think I was filling an app show in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, when I got on the first time down the fence.
Wow.
Yep. Split reins, and I don't know. They made me cross my reins so I wouldn't get any points because they put me on a pretty good one. But
they could not trust you. They didn't even trust you then.
They didn't trust me then. Rightfully so. The judge comes up to me. I saw him, I don't know, a year or so ago, and he was like, "You remember? I think I judged you your first time down the fence." I'm like, "I do remember." And he's like, "And you'd have won the class if you hadn't had your reins crossed." I'm like, "You think I wanted to cross my reins?" I was like, "Don't act like that was like a silly youth kid mistake.
Yeah.
Like that was not an option." Yeah.
So then you move on to Bobby's.
Yep. I was there for 6 years.
Wow.
Did you have the eyebrow ring the whole time?
No. About 2 months.
2 months? Gave up on that?
Yeah.
Kept hanging it.
Outgrew that.
Kept hanging it on.
Yeah, it was a spike in it.
Bottle racks.
Yeah.
So how fast did it grow back? Yeah, where's Robert? Somebody tied him to the waist.
There's a lot of to get stuck to around there.
Hung it up on a nail.
Yeah.
So how long did it take the hole to grow back in?
Oh, hell, a couple of days.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that? Were you sober when you put that?
I was sober.
And how'd that feel?
It actually didn't hurt at all.
Huh. So maybe a little numb.
What's it cost to get your eyebrow ring pierced?
I think it was like $20.
Oh wow! cheap, I'd do it for 10.
So you were, I mean, really, truly destined to be a horse trainer, though. I mean, like a little masochistic and
Yeah.
addicted to poverty.
Yeah.
And
pretty much.
cannot accept authority.
Doesn't accept
Nope.
authority. Yeah.
That's why I never played sports.
There you go. All the rules.
Doesn't play well with others.
No. No. That's why I did kindergarten twice.
Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of. But
You did it
here's
for
what-
me.
Yeah.
What I hate to admit is that I did too.
I can't believe this has never come up. That's funny because I skipped it and you did it twice.
Well, I can't. It just seems like I did.
Well, I know I did.
And I was homeschooled for a minute because we lived so far from town on the first place, and then when we moved where there was a school, it seems like I had to do it again or something like that. And they had a lot of new rules there. So,
Bobby Lewis's.
Bobby
Brett
Lewis,
Yep.
how's it start out?
A lot of roping. Kind of got burnt out on that. I had a Palomino stud when I was in Florida that I cowhorsed on and roped on. I bought a highbrow cat stud from Frankenora Deal that we cowhorsed on. I didn't particularly care for him when he got to Sioux Rainier, so I let Andy Adams show him, and we'll talk about that later. But
No, we better go ahead and pull on that thread.
yeah,
Right now.
I hated the horse. He was really physical, and Andy,
Mr. Downtown Cat?
nope, just plain cat.
Just plain cat. That's
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
Andy had just moved from Jay's out to Florida. He was actually at Dawn's at the time.
Yeah.
He needed something to show. I didn't like the horse, so he showed him. One of the world's greatest on.
That horse.
Yeah, that one.
Stupid horse.
Stupid
And
horse.
you called my wife a bad picker. That's probably how Gary Gonzalez felt when Tony Piggott won the cutting Futurity.
Yeah.
Oh, yowzer. So how'd you know Andy? You just pulled this guy out of the air? or
No,
what?
Andy was at Jay's when I was down there.
I got you. Yep. So y'all been buddies for a while,
Yep.
and he was trying to make a living?
Yep. He was out on his own, and I had a full-time job, so he needed a horse to show, and I didn't like it.
And you were working for Bobby.
Yep.
Excellent.
Bobby was a little pissed off. I didn't let him show him, but
I would have been. You were working for me.
Could have been too. I'm not gonna let you show him, Bobby. But if you pay me, I'll pay him to show him.
exactly. Yeah.
So then what?
Well, I was there for 6 years. I was technically Bobby's breeding manager, so I was showing in the non-pro.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I showed mostly at the age events there, the snaffle bit and stuff like that, and that's when I won the amateur. And I sold that horse to Germany or something.
So how many? Oh, really? So how many mares a year did you have to breed there?
Oh well, I did mostly I collected the studs more than bred the mares. Diane Beckman did all the mare breeding.
Oh, how many studs?
Well, it depended. There was probably about 80 studs there. We collected about 15 of them probably.
That's a good full day.
Plenty work.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
That breeding business, that's kind of like being in the dairy business, too. That's you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
a lot of outside mares, or
No, Bobby owns most of his own
Most
mares.
of them.
Yeah.
so? How many mares were you breeding on site?
Well, they were all down in Gainesville, but I bet he had, upwards of 70.
Man,
I think that was when I worked for Todd. That would have been.
You were at Carroll's.
Was I? Okay, yeah, because Bobby still kept his mares down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
man, that is a lot of animals.
A lot.
Wow.
Keep track of, and then every year 70, then 140, then oh my
They
god,
multiply.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
Quick.
the job.
wow.
Yeah.
So in 6 years at Bobby's, is that a record?
No. I think Adam Morrison might have been there for 7.
But he was doctoring cows out of a tractor bucket.
Yes, he was.
Elaborate.
It's a story.
Elaborate.
It's a story for another time. We'll make CJ Murphy tell it. It's great.
Good times.
Were y'all there at the same time?
Yes.
You were.
Yep. He got there after me and stayed after me.
Weren't you guys up there? Didn't me and Todd come up there for a quote unquote barbecue one night? Were you there still? You would have been there for that.
Todd.
Bergen.
I don't remember that.
Oh.
It doesn't say anything, but
That doesn't mean anything.
Well, Bergen is I'm at Carroll's, and he's in town. I don't know, maybe before the World's Greatest or something. I'm like, hey, I have a barbecue up here at Bobby Lewis's house. You want to go? Yeah, heck yeah, I'll go up there to a barbecue. Well, we get there, and there's 8 pizza boxes on the table. And I'm like, this doesn't look like any barbecue I've ever been to.
barbecue
chicken.
pizza.
So
Barbecue chicken pizza.
there was some beers and some pizza and a pool table. And me and Todd had really never hung out very much. And that guy plays pool really good, by the way.
Good to know.
Good to know. Yeah. Don't let him sucker you into
Yeah.
a billiards tournament.
That pool table got a lot of use.
Yeah, that was my pool table.
But it was at Carroll's.
And it was somebody else's before that. That table, because it's got some stories.
It might still be there.
Yeah, I think anybody that's been around that pool table immune to the coronavirus.
Yes, for sure.
Guaranteed. Yeah. So, just thinking about that pool table.
Yeah.
But when you're an assistant trainer or a breeding manager, you need something. You need an outlet when you get back to the house.
Well, and the bars, they only stay open till 2, so
right.
you got to have something to do afterwards.
What are you going to do the rest of the night?
Exactly.
For crying out loud.
When I
have
worked
to
for
go to
Carroll,
work till 5.
Right.
the first 2 years I worked for Carroll, I would seriously play 9-ball until my hamstring was so sore.
How did you hurt your hand?
Dude, seriously. That's just what I did every night.
No,
By myself.
That's not the amazing part. How did you make your hamstring sore playing pool?
When you lock your right leg down, and it's straight, like when you break and what have you. Yeah, seriously, I played a lot.
My hamstring never got sore playing pool, so.
Maybe we just didn't have the dedication.
That's true. Maybe I wasn't doing it right.
I maybe just had too much frustration built up on that job. So after we leave Bobby's, I love these. This is so much fun. Can't believe we get paid to do this. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
We don't. That's right.
Dummy. Put my eyebrow ring right here.
It's got to go right here.
Yeah, right there. I could cover mine up because my eyebrows have started growing all the way down past my eyelashes. So I can put one in, and you'd always see it if I comb my eyebrows up.
There you go.
They make trimmers for those.
I got one.
You got to use it, though.
No, I'm telling you, this is trimmed. I can't believe you would
got 2
think those are
caterpillars
long.
on your forehead.
Well, I'm not a unibrow.
No.
I'm a growbrow.
So what was the best part about working for Bobby?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I'd do it again any day.
That's a neat guy. I love that guy.
You got to see a lot. I mean, ride everything.
Does that guy really work as hard as what you think he does?
Absolutely.
I mean, I've heard stories of him working horses and then drive to Clovis and work horses and then drive back.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's constant.
As soon as you shake hands with him, you know it. He tries to pull you down over there.
All the time.
Pot liquor. An iron handshake. But you know what's so awesome about Bobby Lewis is he looks so well-rounded.
Oh,
I mean, there's just nothing about horses and doing it that he wouldn't do.
No, if he would pick one event, I mean, whether it be the Cowhorse or the cutting or the reining, you couldn't beat him. I mean, he just does everything.
Pole bending.
Yeah.
Carol always had a picture of him in there in the office.
Barrel
Pole
racing.
bending.
Bowman.
Yep.
He just seems like he drinks horse from a
24/7.
fire hose.
Yep.
Any one event probably isn't enough for him.
No, it's
and
not.
then he's our judges monitor at the NSHA. Phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, it takes a lot to go to every side of so many events.
Oh, yeah.
And then what's he reserve in the world's greatest?
Yep.
How long ago? Not
Not very long ago.
Well,
I
it was the
remember
first year
watching it,
First
and-
year they had it in Fort Worth.
Yeah, because it was in the Will Rogers.
Yep.
I remember.
So 14, 6 years ago, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, that guys. And then you've got what's his name winning the American
Joseph, yeah.
Joseph just the other night. Tons of shout out to Bobby Lewis.
I showed him Mary trained. I won the bridle at the Derby on that CSR laydown Sally
Yep.
that Bobby trained, and he won the limited Snaffle bit Futurity on her. And talk about an easy follow.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah, they're broke. There's no tricks.
Nope.
Just point and shoot, kick to go, pull to stop.
Yeah, you have to respect hardcore.
Yep.
That guy's hardcore.
Absolutely.
I've always, I come into this stuff so late, and you meet Bobby, and in just a minute you like him,
Oh yeah.
and he'll stick up for you. If you're in trouble, he's the guy you want on your side, and you
Absolutely.
tell by that nose. I mean, that sucker's been broke.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he'll go, he'll
Yeah.
go with you.
He will walk right in the middle of a fight and
Let's go.
it's all stop. I've seen him break up quite a few at them horse shows.
That's why we chose him for Minder.
Yeah.
So what's probably the best thing that you glean coming out of Bobby's? Like, what did you learn the most?
Oh, just to be able to adapt to different horses. I mean, you can't ride their papers, and I mean, every different type of horse there, and you just had to figure out how to find something that horse was good at, whether it be cutting, roping, reining, cow horse. I mean, just be able to adapt to different situations.
So you leave Bobby's. What happens next?
I moved to Cimarron, New Mexico to work for Bart Nichols. Was there for 6 months.
Cutting horse trainer.
Cutters, yep. I felt I had a hole in my cow horse program, and it was the cutting. So to work for Bart for a while, and then got tired of it. Was cold. I don't like the cold. So I moved to Florida and started my own deal.
Uh-huh.
While you're at Bobby's, is that when you decide you want to be a cow horse trainer, or you just okay?
Yeah.
You're hooked on the cow horse
Yep,
of
for
all
sure.
the events.
For sure. Yeah.
And what was it about the cow horse that drew you more so than that?
I think just having to, be able to make those horses do all 3 events. I mean, there's just not very many disciplines out there that you have to teach one to be that versatile.
Right.
I mean, it's a challenge every day.
That's no lie. That is no lie right there. How long were you at Bart's?
I think I was there for 8 months, maybe.
Yeah.
I left 1st of November. It was snowing, and moved to Okeechobee, Florida.
Oh, I got you. And did you have some horses lined up then?
Nope.
Just moved home?
Just moved.
Now, is this home or did you
Nope.
go lease a place?
No, I
or?
leased a place. Melinda Gameau, she was a judge when I was in Florida, and I knew her from down there, and she had a place, a cutting horse facility there in Okeechobee, and I had called her and asked her if it was open, and she said yes, so I moved.
And then, so how long did it take to fill the barn up when you get down there?
It was surprisingly easy.
Yeah. All cow horses?
No, it was all cutters at the time, actually.
Uh-huh.
And then quite a few of them switched over to the cow horse. Some of the cow horse clients I got later on, I switched over to the cutting. So it just kind of, whatever they wanted to do, we did it.
Yep. And then still roping a bunch?
I didn't rope a bunch. I roped every once in a while. I'd go over to Bobby Lyons and rope with him, or just jacking around.
Right. So single guy on the loose in Okeechobee.
Well, I wasn't single.
Oh, not single.
No. I met Becky, my wife, when I was at Bobby's.
Yep.
She moved to New Mexico with me, and then I moved her to Florida.
Oh, I got you.
I figured if I moved her enough, she couldn't meet anybody, and she would leave me.
That's awesome. So but you guys just living together? When did you guys get married?
We got engaged in 2010. No, we got engaged in 2009. We got married in 2010 or 11. I
And
should
this
know
was
that.
living in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so just starting your own business down there, got you a fiance,
Yep.
and trying to figure out how to pay the bills.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily, she had a good job in town.
Oh,
Nice.
kept man.
Nice. It's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep. Yep. She worked for a pharmaceutical company down there. So.
Oh, right on.
Oh,
That's convenient.
drug
Yes.
pusher.
Exactly.
A drug pusher.
Yep.
And a horse trainer.
Yeah. Yep.
What was the change in your life when you you and Becky kind of, when you found someone solid?
I think it became a lot less chaotic.
Just slowed you down, let you focus.
Yep. I mean, no reason to go to the bar anymore.
Right.
So
more sleep.
Got to sleep a little bit more. Got to save a little more money. All good things.
Do you think it helped you to focus on the training and the way you wanted to go, or was it not that big? You were that focused on it before?
Well, I mean, I was always pretty intent on what I was doing. She maybe pushed me a little more, which was a good thing. Gave me a little accountability. It wasn't all about me anymore. Mm-hmm. So kind of makes you try to do right, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think did you see any changes in your ability to show and did you change your mindset and the pressure of showing, the dealing with the losses or any of that sort of thing?
I don't know. I think showing in the non-pro for as long as I did and always owning my own horse, you kind of tried to win every time because it's not cheap. And I think I kind of carried that over to my clients' horses and stuff like that. You don't enter them if you think you can't win. So
how many horse shows are you able to go to in Florida? I mean, are there a lot of Cowhorse shows down there? I'm not terribly familiar.
So when I first moved down there, there was actually 3 associations down there. All of them were struggling, and they finally combined 2 of them. To where, because when there was 3, there was a small group of people that went to all 3 of them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't cross over. They were all had their hair up about something and wouldn't go to the next one. So we finally combined 2 of them, and that made it a little bit better. And then those 2 actually shut down, or that one kind of shut down for, I don't even remember why. But Jay always had shows over at his place. So that was we always knew Jay would have a Cowhorse show. He had 3 or 4 a year, just enough to get qualified. He had one little Futurity. They always had a little derby at him. So he got to show, whatever he had.
And how many shows a year is he? He's just a 3, huh? I mean, so.
Well, then he was just having 3 because there was the other 2 associations. After they shut down, they actually started an affiliate, I guess, and I think they had 1 a month. July and August they didn't have them because it was so damn hot, but
yeah,
they had about 1 a month down there, and there was 2 cuttings a month in Florida. You can stay busy.
Plenty enough to stay busy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What brought you back to Texas?
Well, it's kind of a big fish, little pond down there. When I was down there, I tried as much as I could to come out here and show just to stay, I don't know, I guess try to stay current, but it's kind of hard down there. I mean, it's more of a hobby down there in Florida for people. They don't leave horses in training. They're not really all about Futurity horses. They kind of, they want them tuned up, and they buy finished horses, and, you get them for a month or 2 at a time. And I just got tired of making the drive to Texas all the time. So Sean Hayes, or actually Tammy, approached me at the World Show one year and asked me if I'd come work for him, and I told her no quite a few times. And then she persisted enough, and I finally gave in.
So Texas bound we are.
Yep.
Hey, so before we get all the way to Texas, I want to go back to one thing about what was it like going, because we haven't had this question before. What's it like going from the non-pro to the open? What was the apprehensions of it? What did it even bother you just wanting to go train so bad that it was easy to give that card up?
Well, I mean, it was always the plan. Working for Bobby, it worked out to be a non-pro because, he didn't go to a whole lot of Cowhorse shows then. So if I wanted to go to one, I just load up my horse and go.
Yeah. It was your own deal.
Yeah. I think the last year I showed in the non-pro at the Snaffle bit, I think everybody was a little keen on what I was doing, and the judges didn't really hide it well that I shouldn't be in the non-pro. So when I got home, I called NRCHA and gave up my non-pro card.
So it wasn't that tough for you?
No.
It wasn't. You were headed that way anyways.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard to throw
You
it away.
don't see that much here. Like the cutters, that's a pretty common deal. A lot of them guys start in non-pro and
really?
a ton of
Really?
Phil Rapp, Taryn and Tatum, I think both showed. Don just showed in the non-pro.
Armando Castanedo just switched over to an open trainer, and there's quite a few of them.
The Galleon boys, they both showed in the non-pro. I mean, Bobby Lewis, I think, showed in the non-pro.
He's in the NCHA non-pro Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so a ton of them guys switch over like that.
I didn't really know that.
Yeah, it's pretty unheard of, really, in our deal. There's not, like,
Yeah.
just, you're either a trainer.
It's just not.
Yeah.
in ours.
I don't know if there's
I mean, Tish will
one.
give up her card. Yeah.
Yep. There's one.
I guess Annie had to.
Annie went back the other way.
Yeah.
And then gave it up again. So
Right.
she's
Yeah.
made the transition
Back
all
and forth.
directions. But yeah, that's interesting.
No, so all the paths.
Yeah. So
You know what I'm saying? There's just
that's it. Everybody's got a different trip.
Yep. And when you're working at the breeding deal, it's not like you're training, so it makes more sense
Right.
to go the non-pro route.
Right.
Especially if you're raising your own horses and able to do some horse trading there. I mean,
Yeah.
that was always my retirement plan until Annie messed that all up.
Dang it.
I was like, man, I'm going to ride these horses until I can retire and just ride my own.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm not crazy about the non-pro at all because I feel like what does owning the horse matter? Well, I mean, really, is that really a way to measure competition level? That's always bothered me.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether you own or not. It's where do you belong in the competition level?
Right.
I don't,
More
and
of a
I don't.
leveling system.
Yeah. And I don't like that people start getting mad at people because they're winning a little bit and they're in the non-pro, and so now they're trying to get after them. I don't like that part of it.
Right. And if you're good enough in the non-pro to go compete in the open, then
More power to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it when everybody's just going where they go and nobody's worrying about who's riding what. That's
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the NCAA.
that's a long ways away.
The NCAA conversation, about them college guys getting paid or not. I think you can have that. You can probably sit around and debate that for hours on end.
Yep.
So back to Texas. So Sean and Tammy offer you a gig.
Yep.
Get back here. Get back in the heart of horse country.
Yes.
Give you an opportunity to get to all the majors, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
get you back in the thick of it. And, when I moved to Florida, and just threw a shingle up and started it, it was kind of it was fairly easy, but intimidating. Move halfway across the country and don't have anything to do except starve for a little while. Knew I needed to come back to Texas. Didn't really, kind of hesitant about doing it that way. And it was kind of a perfect transition, really.
Oh, let you get back here with a little bit of security.
Yeah, that
right.
steady paycheck's not all bad.
No, turns out it's pretty good.
yeah. Well, that was about the time I had Traveling Jones. I was like, man alive, somebody just hire me.
To be
I'd
me.
go be an assistant.
If they just hire me to
somewhere.
be me.
Just let me have this horse and make sure I can get to town on him.
Right.
And then give me a paycheck also.
Yeah. Not all bad.
Entered.
Yeah.
Entered.
Yeah. No
But
one called.
What about
crickets.
the mindset though? Because I know it's a little bit tough after you've worked for yourself and nobody has set your hours and told you when and where you're going to be there to change that mindset and go back and
Yeah, that was one of the biggest hesitations, and me and Tammy talked about it a lot, and me and Sean talked about it a lot, and they've been pretty good about if I need to go, do something or go to a horse show and they're not going, they really don't have a problem with it. As far as hours, we all pretty much work the same hours.
right.
Daylight to dark, so whether somebody else is telling you to be there or you have to tell yourself to be there.
Yeah, no, that's it. There's no way around it. But like you say, but now you've got your own business also.
Right.
And so how does that work? You go to Sean's in the morning and then
I work at Sean's, all day, and then go up to Don's and work them till I'm done.
and where you live at Don's? You live on Sean's place? Or?
No, right down the road from Sean's place.
I got you. Yep. Wow. That sounds
A lot.
overwhelming.
How old are you?
35.
Sounds real overwhelming.
How old are you, Chris?
I'm 38, and I can't imagine doing that 3 years ago.
You're out of shape.
Apparently. Extremely out of shape.
Back in your day, you could do it for a week or two.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem I had with driving around was ADD would kick in. I'd forget where I was going, and I'd get over here, and I'm like, "What? I don't even know how I got here. Why? What was I doing?" Yeah, I have to stay in one place and stay focused.
That was kind of back to the 2 years of high school, Get your driver's license, kind of hard to find in school.
Because GPS works everywhere except there.
No GPS there.
Russell, this was a long horse show. I rode a lot of horses, and I really just want to get back to my house and sit down in my leather recliner
that goes past zero
that
gravity.
goes to the zero gravity.
Lay it out. You know, it makes me wonder, where would I go get one? Where would I go?
Well, I'm going to tell you where you can go. You can go to Tishomingo, Oklahoma, to Hauser Furniture. They're the bomb, really. Like, they've got the best stuff. They've got Queen washer and dryers. You ever had one of them?
Speed Queen, baby. I've got one. The tub is huge.
The Speed-
It's huge. You get everybody's clothes in there.
I don't have to do laundry, dude, for 2 weeks. Like, if my wife's out of town, I don't have to do laundry until she gets back.
Right before she gets there.
Right?
Just
And then
keep
just
putting
do it
in
all.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, babe, did the laundry for you.
All
She's like, all you gotta do is fold it.
Yeah, just
You gotta just fold it.
if you fold it and we're all done. I did the hard work.
Right?
I got the dirt out.
Yeah.
And when you get done with that, I'll take you down to Tishomingo. We'll go have a little drink and visit them folks at Hauser Furniture.
Right. Yeah, we can go over there to Old Red's, right across the street from Old Red's.
Yeah, have dinner.
Old-
I'll treat you dinner for folding the laundry.
Right. It's perfect. Perfect. Yep. Yeah. Hauser Furniture. Make sure you check them out. They're a supplier of top grain custom leather furniture by Justice. They also have bedding by Serta and M. Lilly. They're a proud supplier of Speed Queen washer and dryers. And if you're having some troubles decorating your house, like I know I always did before I got married, you can consult with their owner, Carrie Golden, for any of your decorating needs.
She's got an eye for style. I mean, I know you're a natural, so you probably wouldn't need her. But a lot of people need help looking and dressing and decorating like you live.
I'm telling you. Well, don't forget to check them out for any furniture and bedding needs you may have.
Yep, go down there and check them out, Chris, down there on that Hauser Furniture Facebook page. I know that Troy and Carrie made some hilarious commercials in the past. Just scroll way down that Facebook page and bring them up. I mean, they are gutbusters.
It's pretty good. If you like Dale Brisby or anything funny,
Yeah,
you're going to love it.
gonna love it. And they dress up several different ways. You might think they have multiple actors, but no, it's just them in costume several different times.
Just like Eddie Murphy coming to America.
That's right. So go see Troy and Carrie down there. See if there's something you like. You need appliances or you just need to relax. They got what you need. And you can always just go have a little relaxation across the street if that doesn't work out.
Right. Even if you don't need furniture, don't be afraid just to go hang out with Troy and Carrie. They're awesome.
Free coffee.
Free coffee. Yep. Get after it.
So, what do you see with these younger trainers around? What do you think is the biggest mistake you're seeing people make, either in their horse training or in the way they run their business? Like, what are some pitfalls that you could share with some people that are kind of in your same boat that are?
Well, I think a big mistake a lot of people make younger, and I've done it too, I'm sure we all have, is, if you have your own program, whether whoever you learn it from yourself or whatever, and then, you get to a horse show and you see guys doing something else and you try to retrain your horse at the horse show. And then you wonder why it doesn't work. If you're going to retrain them, maybe try it at home, not the day before you show them.
Or day of.
Or day of.
Yeah, I mean, dude, truly, that is so true, Robert. That happens so much.
Oh, yeah.
And you can really see it if you go out there in school at night
Yeah, absolutely.
in that rain and pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have people call all the time. I don't know if we've already talked about this or not. It's
Probably
going to be a
not.
problem on this podcast, probably.
Probably not.
I get to repeating myself a lot.
No one's listening. What's your mom going to say something? You repeated yourself again.
But people will call and they'll want to come down to the house like 3 days before horse show.
Yeah.
And they've never ridden with me before, and they get down there and they want help. And I'm like, hey, you were confident enough to enter.
Yeah.
Let's just keep you confident enough to go horse show.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to come and try and change something, let's do it after the horse show.
Right.
When we have, I can show you something, and
Yeah.
then you can go home and practice it for a few months.
Work on it and figure out if you actually like it or not.
Right. So, like, say you go to try to make a change. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and so then more from our point of view, I've gotten older and I'll have people come and ask for help, and I've changed, and I was so full on about helping, and now I'm more like, hey, so we're at the horse show and here's some things I see, but don't even do it right now. Just
Right.
take this home with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like you're saying, Robert. I was maybe a little guilty, and we all are. Anybody, when someone starts, you get a little older and people start asking you for help, man, you want help. You remember what it was like to be struggling, and you want help, and you kind of overload them.
Yep.
Right there in the warm-up pen or something. The night before, the next day, whatever. A guy gets to recognizing that stuff from every side. Robert seeing it from getting help, and I've really noticed it in my. I'm a slow study, but in the last couple years, I've really thought, man, you can't give too much information because it wrecks a person.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got to dole that out.
Yeah.
You got to,
Be
meter
like,
that
hey,
out.
take this. This is something. Okay, here's something that'll help the problem you have right now.
Right.
Like your horse isn't turning to the right.
Right.
Because of this. But the whole program thing, I'll tell them, hey, this is something I'd work on when you go home and think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, there's no way, Robert, to learn the difference between what will help you here for a second right now and what you need to work on when you go home, except for just messing it up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to screw a bunch of them up.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
There's sometimes you're watching say a young guy, and he's doing some little thing that's causing a consistent problem, and it's just something with the way he's sitting.
Right.
You go fix that, and it gets better, and he can go show with that.
Yeah.
But that's not like saying, hey, you got to get him bridled up more.
Right. Yeah, you can't retrain them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get him bridled up before you go in there tomorrow. Hey, you've been not bridling for a year and a half.
Right.
You better go with that.
Yeah, stick with what you got.
Well, that's what always has impressed me so much about Don
Murphy.
You're leasing his place up there to run
Yeah.
your other business out of, but he's so good about being able to help different styles and to be able to help you without changing you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
And he even says that was a struggle for him, earlier on before he started doing a bunch of the clinics. He wanted everybody to do it his way. Well, then and he says it all the time. Going and watching everybody, he's figured out that there's more than one way to do it. Everybody's got their own little program, and he's just trying to help them, with the finer details.
Get better. Yep.
But he says it all the time. There is more than one way to do it. And you have to be able to adapt to that person's program and figure out what to do with those horses to help them fix their stuff. They're not your horses. They're not going to feel or look the way yours do. You got to help them work on their stuff.
Greg Ward helped me in the beginning get my start. I say it all the time. But my second start was John Murphy because I was in so much trouble. I didn't even know
what kind of trouble.
Like.
What kind of trouble, Russell? Like jail time?
So
We talking
much.
Jail time?
So much. Just so much. Well, hey, he didn't go into it also. I'm not either. But that guy came along. Why Murphy decided to waste time on me, I don't know. But he was able to start helping me see how much trouble I was having and get me to fix myself. Make me think about what I'm doing. Make me think about what's not working and try to figure a way through it. Instead of just coming in there and say, you need to do this and you need to do that. He would watch what I was doing wrong at a clinic with maybe 5 other trainers who he's telling completely different stuff to. He didn't come in there and make 5, 6, 7 guys all try to change to this. You guys all need to get your heads lower. You all need to this. We go them deals as Stickler, Lewis, Jake Gorel, me, and I'm trying to even think who else was there. There's just, and then 20, 30 non-pros. And he's trying to give each person something that will help them.
Right.
That ability to help you with your problem is really special.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that guy, what's so secular about him is he sees so many styles. Who do you know that has gone to so many places?
Oh, yeah.
From Cushing's to Etzel's to Justin Wright's to Bergen's to Dawson's to me, who the whole new mess, to Jake Gore. I mean, there's a lot of styles there.
Yep.
He's seen so much.
Yep. Well, and especially him being as successful as he was in his program, you know, to be able to veer from what his thing was,
Yep.
you know, to everybody else's.
And he's still so much help to you. Someone that can help the top and the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And the non-pro is unique.
Yep.
Something else. I tell you, the only, I mean, that guy is incredible. And him and Farron Hightower.
Oh my God, so much fun.
That's another one that,
Yeah.
like, he used to come to the Cowhorse shows and sit out here during the herd practice, and he'd sit in a corner, and I kid you not, in a 4-minute herd practice, and everything from from $1 million riders to 5K boxers, they would walk in the herd, he would assess the problem, come up with a way to tell them, and in 4 minutes, you would see a transformation.
Yeah.
And he would sit there all day and do that. I mean, and it was easy for him. He'd just sit there. I mean,
Yep.
no big deal. And he'd just take
and-
little things, and just, a little more pressure on that cow's head right there. Get away from him, catch him right there.
Yeah. And nothing that was particularly his style of doing it.
Nope.
I mean, his style is different.
Yeah. No,
You know.
for sure.
Yeah, because he's such a feel guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and sometimes the field guys are hard to learn from.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think it out, they did it.
Well, you can't teach somebody to feel it,
No.
you know, as hard as we try.
No.
You know,
I taught Murphy how to feel it because
I did.
because he's telling me what to do, and then finally he gets on my horse, and it's so bad. He's like, "Holy, what are you doing?" I was like, "See, feel my problem." That's the only thing I taught him. Those horses are way harder than they look.
That's awesome.
I got him good that time.
When you go to coaching on somebody, they like a lot of times, like Murph and Farron, they can do things like that and see it and tell you. But like, I'll get into a wreck. Like, I'm like, if I don't feel it, I mean, I'm liable to do something completely different than what I was just telling you to do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I've done that big time. Be like, do this, and finally get frustrated, get on. I'm like, oh dear,
Yeah,
that was no wonder that didn't work. Whoa.
that's awesome. So, what about, and I don't know, this isn't really a cowboy thing to talk about, but the whole mindfulness thing. Do you have, I mean, Kenny kind of brought it up. We did an interview with Kenny Wold here the other day, and we haven't really, and he talked about psycho-cybernetics, which is not really a term I'm familiar with.
Right.
But just the whole, I've done a fair bit of work myself as far as, I'm not going to say I'm sitting around cross-legged on a pillow, but like on a fair bit of like meditation, mindfulness stuff, just learning about myself,
Right.
to know how to get myself into a situation to be ready to go horse show.
Yeah, I mean, I did that in high school. I mean, like I said, $140 an hour to learn to count to 10.
Well, there you go.
You know, I don't know. I think you just have to be, again, going back to comfortable with what you're doing and what you brought, you know, and not, you know, let everybody else's, not get in your head as far as what they're saying, because most people in the Cowhorse are pretty friendly and all want to help you. But, you know, don't psych yourself up, you know, and I don't know. Like when I showed my mare at the Futurity, every time I walked in the pen, I thought, well, if I can just mark 216 on her, I think we'll be all right. You know, and she excelled way better than that, you know, luckily. I think you have to be comfortable in your own skin, you know, in anything you do, you know, to where you're not bugging out when you go somewhere.
Well,
I don't know if that answers the question or not.
I
but
think that speaks volumes. I know that we did a clinic, Gary, last year up there in Purcell, and I was like, man, you can go get information about, well, your horse needs to run straight to the other end of the pen.
Right.
Like, this information's not hard.
No.
But I wanted to try and share with them people. It was just a quick little day and a half clinic or whatever, me and you and Russell and Wade. Yep. And I tried to really get into them, like, what really happens before you walk in that show pen?
Right.
And man, they all start telling me stories. Well, my stomach starts fluttering and everything shuts down and I can't. And I'm like, well, this is the stuff we need to work on, people.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, however your horse does it, but if your body is physiologically shutting down when you walk in the arena,
How's this gonna go well?
Maybe we shouldn't be training
maybe
horses.
I mean, like, we need to like get a grip on this stuff. Like I says, I'm not
qualified to teach you how to do this thing, but you need to find somebody that is to where
Right.
you can get a grasp on your brain.
Yeah.
So the way that it speaks to your body will allow it to do the things you need to do when you go horse show.
Yeah. You know, I think so. When I was in Florida, Barbara Schulte came down and did a clinic down there with a bunch of non-pros. And she's a lot into the sports psychology. And she doesn't ever overcomplicate anything. And you're not sitting there thinking, trying to fall asleep when she's talking. She keeps it really simple. And I think the best thing she ever said to a non-pro that I heard was, if you and your horse aren't getting along, maybe you should get a different one. There's plenty of them out there. I mean, I know not everybody can afford to go buy a $100,000 horse, but, you know, if you paid whatever, maybe it's time to just go get a different one. You know, I mean, if you're struggling that bad, you know, and you're that nervous to get in the show pen, something's bad happened to you.
Sure.
You know, and I always tell people, you know, showing for the first time, you know, there is nothing you can do in that show pen that everybody else hasn't already done.
Yeah.
I mean, really. You fall off. A lot of people have fallen off the show pen. You go off pattern. Who gives, you know, I mean, you just got to go make your run. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just go do what you and your horse can do.
You know what was funny about that is when you said psychology, you changed. Like you couldn't hardly say it because it's such a weird word
Yeah.
for people in our culture to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, like I say, it's not a cowboy thing to talk about.
Right.
But you know, you bet if you're not talking about it, you better be thinking about it a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, unless you want to just keep getting your hind parts whipped.
Right.
Because it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm going to promise you, I'm working on it. And I know that whether they're talking about it or not,
Right.
them ones that are beating you, they're working on it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And like saying, it's almost like a taboo subject. Like you can't, like if you say it, it's like,
Right.
what the heck?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. But you better be working on that, Rascal.
You know, the huge thing about what he just said with the non-pro, get another horse. Here's the thing about the non-pro, and it's way so more than what you and I talk about a lot with the trainers. As a trainer, you stick with that horse and you figure out how to train.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a non-pro, this is your outlet. And if you can't get along, that doesn't mean that's a bad horse.
Right.
But
It's just not a
this
good
isn't
team.
your 24-hour job.
Right.
And why?
Right. Why struggle? Exactly.
Find something you get along with and move on with it and have a good time.
Yeah.
You'll have a better time. Horse have a better time. Everybody will be better off. I mean, you got to give it a good college try, but there's a point where if you're not making this your life, you need to figure out something that makes it to where you to where you enjoy doing it rather than go out there and just have.
Yeah, I mean, it better be fun. And it better be fun for us all because let's face it, we're never going to get rich doing this. But non-pros, they better have fun doing it because they're spending a lot of money and a lot of time.
So what, you're going to go spend a ton of money to have...
To hate yourself every time you walk out of the pen?
That's not what it's for.
No.
And
it's got to be fun.
And uppricing the horse isn't the answer.
No.
You don't always need a better horse.
Right.
You
Just a different one.
A different one.
Yeah. Different dance partner.
That's sometimes that's expensive.
Yes, absolutely. Well, but I mean, I don't know. I think if you're stuck in your own head and you're worried about what's going to happen bad, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah. And also, I think, for the psychology, one of the biggest things is to just realize this is a horse show.
Absolutely. And they're going to have another one.
Yeah. And you know what?
As long as
if you go out there,
doesn't take over.
yeah, right. Don't. It's not. It's just for fun. And if you lose, it's not the end of the world.
No.
It's like losing a basketball half court game with your cousin. Treat it like that. Yeah. And then it's not so. Then you don't put so much pressure on the outside. I mean, I don't understand all the pressure outside the non-pro class. Settle down, man.
Yeah.
Just go out there and have fun. Show us what you've been practicing. Say, hey, look at this, Mom. Right. And then if it doesn't work, go try it again.
Yeah.
I told a non-pro one time, this might be why I don't have very many non-pros.
Weird.
We were in Stevensville, and I says, listen, I want you to do something for me. He says, what? He says, when you ride in the arena, just fall off. He says, what are you talking about? I says, well, it'll be something different. I says, because we work on stuff and it gets better and you go in the show pen and it's exactly the same thing every single time. I says, just try something, just fall off. At least it'll be something new. Yeah, he don't ride with me no more.
Yeah, but
But I think he used that. I mean, he's gone. He got better after that.
Yeah, I think it was good for him.
maybe he got a better teacher.
Really, maybe he did. But it's hard because you walk in there and you'll have everything will just you revert.
Oh yeah,
You revert, and it's like, listen, so you might lose a cow. Like, leave your hand down and like push a foot on that thing and see what happens.
Yeah.
It might work. If it don't, we'll try it again tomorrow.
what?
Yeah.
Right? Like, or you can walk in here and pucker up and get tight and you have a hold and you might get him turned around, but it's going to look terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So why not try?
Yeah.
And they're like, I had a lady come to the house the other day, and I'm like, have you ever just like left your hand down and see if that horse turns around with the cow? She said, no. I said, well,
Did you ever watch
Start
Jim
there.
Putnam? Did you ever watch Jim Putnam in the old days? Hey, I'm telling you, Jim Putnam, all by himself, all the time out there training, not a lot of help. He was Roger's customer, and Roger helped him some. But Jim Putnam would just go at home and just cut by himself, throw his hand down. He didn't have style, nothing. He had a car lot, you know. He's still around. He would go in and throw down anywhere, and sometimes it's terrible, but sometimes he pulled it off big time because he did it at home every day. He was there to have fun. He was there to throw it out there and see what happened. I don't know how many times Jim Putnam, the crowd is just going crazy, and then you hear, oh. But then the times that it stayed hooked, he was huge.
Yep.
Because he wasn't worried about losing.
Right.
He was going to say, watch this.
Me.
Or, hey, if it was almost so cool. You know what I mean? I just love that about that.
That's a better story than, well, Mark to 68 again.
Yeah, Mark's at 68 again. I almost didn't mark a 68.
Yeah.
He's like, I almost marked a 75.
Exactly.
I was listening to a podcast today. I listened to Finding Mastery, and there was a guy on there talking about you can't be scared of if you rate your days from a 1 to a 10, then you can't be scared of the ones because you'll miss the 10s.
Can't.
Right? If you keep it if you just try and keep your day between a 4 and a 6, he's like, I can't imagine a worse life of just keeping every day between a 4 to a 6.
Yeah.
Just don't lose. I hate the don't lose mentality.
I'm telling you, I'd rather mark a 60 than a 70, dude. I mean, it pays the same. Like, at least there's a story that goes with a 60.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that story's terrible. I enjoy the drama in there. I enjoy watching it, and when I'm watching, but I enjoy doing it too. So I enjoy trying to be the highest I could be.
Right.
And if you lose, at least you don't be like, yeah, I wish I'd have tried a little harder.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was a respectable 70, and it was only 2 holes out of the money.
Right.
Hey, let's go try it. I'm not trying to place.
Right.
A lot of times I should.
Well, that's what I told somebody else. I said down there, and Corey won that Derby down there in Fort Worth the other day, and I'm standing at the back gate, and he comes in. He's got a good lead, right? And they're like, "Oh, here we go. Here's a big run." I'm like, "You'd be surprised." I was like, "Man, that guy's awesome because he wins a lot because he's not scared to win second."
Yeah.
You know, and sure, not to say that he don't go for it when he needs to, but he's so smart about it.
Yep.
And when he's got a lead,
Yeah.
sometimes, and not a 70 wasn't going to do it.
No.
But the 17 was going to do it. 72, 73 was going to do it. So there's no sense in trying to be a 6
Right.
when 2 or 3 is going to win.
Yep.
Like, man, that guy's awesome.
Well, and he knows all his horses so well that he knows exactly what he can do, can't do, and exactly this is what I need to do to mark this on this cow, on this horse.
Yep.
He's phenomenal at that.
Yep. If I do this, and like I saying, and then you run a little riskier because if you do this and you mark a 15, I might be win second.
Right. Yeah.
And like I say, I think you need to be a 16. I think you marked 17.
Right.
Man.
Way easier to have to come from behind.
Oh,
The most pressure is the lead going to the fence.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like nightmare.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about for that world's greatest. Like, don't be leading it. Don't be leading it like until the last buzzer goes. Then you can lead it. But up till then, you just
be within reach.
Yeah, within reach. It's the easiest place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to be out there in the lead. But I did like later on decide that, when you're in lead, just go try to win the go around the fence work. For me,
Right.
doesn't work. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but I did find kind of partway through there that when I started trying to be safety, I lost some feel on the cow.
Right.
Like you're trying to, okay, there's a spot, but no, I'm going to make it, I'm going to play it safe. Well, then the spot goes away.
Yeah.
That shot where you should have circled up, where you should have turned, where you should have left the boxing.
Right.
You start second guessing yourself, and that's as dangerous.
Well, back to Don Murphy. When it comes to fence work in the last round, you just work the cow that's out there.
Yeah.
And like, maybe you need to know okay, I'll take this loop instead. Like if one certain situation arises, maybe I'm going to take the safer
Trust.
route. But other than that,
Trust yourself.
you just got to work that cow for what it is. And
Yep.
that's going to get you where you're going to go.
Yep.
What would you say, Robert, is your biggest horse-related accomplishment?
I guess winning the prelims at the Snaffle bit Futurity.
Well, that's a pretty good one.
That's big.
It
I mean,
is-
how many horses? How many factors? How many things got to come right to win the prelims?
Yeah.
More than the finals.
Yeah, for sure.
And I tell you what's cool though too is they still give the stirrups, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the Terrier Auto sponsored high prelim score. This has been brought up before, I know, but I'll bring it up again in memory
It's
of
the
his son
greatest.
Jason. It's awesome. And that's my most prized trophy that I've got is stirrups.
Yep.
We lost Gordon, so he didn't get to make your stirrups.
No, Daryl Davis made them.
Daryl did.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
So kind of start a new era there.
Yep.
So that's a pretty good horse related accomplishment. What about your biggest disappointment as Russell leaves to go? Russell's about to go have his proudest moment while you're thinking on that because his son is about to make his first ever
Fence run in the show pen.
in the show pen.
Yep.
The debut of
Yep.
the Dilday. If I knew how to stop this machine, we would stop and we'd go watch too.
Go watch it. Yeah. Yeah. Biggest disappointment. I don't know. Probably, knowing you have a good horse and never really showing it to its potential. I guess it's all relative. You have a good one, you screw it up. You have a bad one, you make it better. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever just been. I mean, when I drove all the way from Florida to Reno on a pretty good horse and lost my third cow, pretty disappointed.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever been so disappointed that I thought, well, I should probably go do something else.
Right.
Luckily, I haven't quite got there.
Well, we won't either. We're too hard headed, Robert.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
If we were going to do that, we'd have done it
A long time ago. Yeah, no doubt.
So after you did that, did you show back or did you just load up and go home?
No. I showed him in the rain work and showed him down the fence.
Yep.
I figured I was already there and
Yep, darn
wasn't
right.
going to cost any more money to stay. So
Right. Yeah, I think one time I left the show, and I didn't want to, but I was like, it was the Bridal Spectacular. I drove to Queen Creek, Arizona with one horse that I owned
Yep.
to show him the Bridal Spectacular.
Yep.
And I walked in there, and I think I lost my first cow.
yeah,
And I'm like sleeping in my nose of my trailer.
yeah,
Like and this isn't a living quarters.
Right.
This is
No.
just the tack room.
Yeah.
All right. Slept in that and got up the next morning and drove back to Texas.
Yep. Yep.
There was no go round. There was no.
No.
I was like, man, there's absolutely no way I can redeem myself
Yeah.
this week.
No, it's done.
I'm just
Over.
going to go to the house.
Yep.
What do you think is maybe the most important trait for a young guy that's wanting to get into the horse business, be it training or breeding, whatever?
Probably being hard-headed.
I laugh because we seriously just interviewed Del Hendricks and he said exactly the same thing. Like, I asked the same question, I got exactly the same answer.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to have a serious love for it. I mean, and have a lot of self-motivation, but you better be tough. Every part of it. Physically tough, mentally tough. I mean, and have somebody really good behind you. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you better be hard-headed because it's going to suck for a while.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, there's not anybody at these horse shows that I would want to tangle with.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the most soft-smoking, nicest guy out there. I'm kind of afraid if you wanted to step in there, he'd probably just tear your head off.
Yep.
Like there's not anybody out there.
No.
No.
I mean,
I think that keeps everybody's manners in check.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all still here, so
Right.
we got something.
You're darn right.
So what about, you said your parents didn't really want you to be a horse trainer. Did they kind of come around and got on board with the whole horse training game, or are they still a little waiting for you to grow out of it?
No, I mean, I think they're pretty much over, let that dream go. My dad being a vet, my sister's a lawyer. I mean, it's kind of not really the family thing to do. My mom was always more supportive because that was always kind of her dream. Life happens. But no, I mean, my dad's absolutely supportive right now, and so is my mom. I mean, they came around to it pretty quick.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, I can't imagine how hard it'd be. That's one thing that I've had is my parents have always been like, they were both horse trainers, and so they've been like full on. Like when I went to work for Todd, they were like, listen, we'll treat this like you're in college.
Right.
Like, like we're not gonna just pay for everything, but we're gonna, we're gonna make sure that you're have the opportunity to work for cheap.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done anything to get myself in any financial issues before I went, so I didn't really have any obligations anywhere. But but without their support there, man alive, I can't. I see them kids doing it today. They said they've got themselves into like, I've got to make $450 a week to cover my bills.
Right.
And I'm like, what in the world? You're 19 years old.
How do you have that many bills?
Like,
cell phone. What do you have? A cell phone and a truck payment? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Like you need to work on your budgeting.
Yeah. I think that's a serious problem with today's youth is I don't know if they're just trying to keep up with the Joneses or think everybody owes them something. I don't know, but it's hard. I mean, and you see it all the time. Mm-hmm. They have a totally different outlook on life. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I say, you see the guys that stick, not that none of us drive nice trucks and trailers, but everybody that I know has old stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my trailer's a 92.
Yeah.
I know your trailer ain't no spring chicken.
Nope.
I mean,
I think it's a 2000, but it's damn sure paid for.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And like, as long as they're safe, I mean, sometimes you got to get new stuff.
Yep.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like, you see them guys that kind of roll in and they think they got to have 3 brand new dualies and 4 different brand new trailers and this and that. And I'm like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of stuff to pay for that doesn't include a shiny new trailer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people say they just figure that they'll always have a truck payment, which is fine, and you probably always will, but you don't have to have 2 truck payments and a new trailer payment all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's always been my theory. I mean, I like shiny but sometimes it just doesn't work out.
So what do you think was your brokest moment? Like when, and this is a 2-part question. Financially, like, have you ever been in a place where you just didn't know if you were going to make it home? And we'll start there.
I'm sure I've had a lot of them. I've never put myself in a situation where I went to a horse show having to win a check to get home. If I can't afford to go, and again, showing my own horses, if I can't afford to go, I don't go. Yeah. There's been a lot of times that bills don't get paid and stuff like that, but I mean, I think that's just anybody's life, really. Sure. It's not abnormal to have no money in the bank account.
Right.
But you're going to get paid again pretty quick, so eat ramen noodles for a couple of days, you'll be fine.
I told a kid that one time. I told him, I said, hey, if you want to be a horse trainer, he says, what do I need to do? I'm like, have you ever had ramen noodles? He said, no. I said, you need to go to that store and get you some ramen noodles. You need to eat ramen noodles for a week.
Yeah. Learn to love them.
And into that week, let's talk again.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see him again for a month. And he's by now he started his own training business. I says, hey, I don't really say anything to him. He asked me, he says, well, what do you think about me going out starting my business? I says, well, did you do what I asked you to? He says, well, I went down there to Walmart and I looked at them ramen noodles and I looked at the ingredients on them and they just weren't for me. And I'm like, well, that's all I needed to know. And about a month and a half later, he was out of business. Yep. It didn't last very long. Yep. So yeah, going on from that is about the brokest moment egotistically. Like, was there ever, I mean, I know you said there's never been a moment that you want to do something different, but just that gut punch.
Hard ego blow. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, again, driving all the way to Reno, losing the third cow, pretty hard ego blow. My wife's pretty brutally honest. She kind of keeps me in check there quite often. But, again, I don't know that I've ever, in the horse industry or in the profession that I'm in, I don't know that I've ever been just that gut punched. Right. I mean, I think if you take everything as a learning experience, I think that those hard gut punches come a lot easier.
Sure.
I don't know that I have a specific answer for that.
Right. Well, I mean, that kind of leads into another question is how do you feel about failure? And I think you told me, like, I mean, that failure's got to be about learning, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we all fail constantly.
Yeah.
You know, in everything. You know, you just got to be able to learn from it and not take it too personal.
What about, I know the answer to this also, but because you, with 2 deals going, you have no time for anything, but do you have anything else you like to do? Do you do anything outside of horses?
Well, I like to fish in the ocean, not in lakes, so that makes it pretty hard living in Texas. So that one's pretty much out. Play golf every once in a while, but no.
Right. Yeah, I've got a set of golf clubs myself.
Yeah. I wipe the cobwebs off them about once a year.
Right.
That would be the biggest ego blow. Go play golf.
Right. Yeah. You ever get to feeling too good about yourself?
Yeah,
Just go.
yeah. Go play 9 holes.
Pick up that 1 iron. Go take a swing.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and tell that kid that was getting in trouble in high school, you could go tell him one thing. What would you tell him?
You know, it's just not that bad. I mean, you know, high school and you don't have any real problems. I mean, I didn't. I'm sure there's kids that have, but you know, I obviously had a family that supported me and loved me, and you know, nothing's that bad.
Right.
Just kind of get over it.
That's really cool. Ben hates it when he leaves because we come up with all kinds of stuff.
Free range.
Free range. So you have been all over the country showing, East Coast to West Coast and everywhere else. What is your very favorite place to show? And it doesn't have to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything. Just what's your favorite place to show for any reason?
I think my favorite arena to go down the fence in would be the one in Reno, Nevada, because it's big and the cows run fast and it's a lot of fun. I think every time you walk into the Will Rogers, it's just a really cool feeling that you get to show in there, thinking about all the other people that have shown there before you, great people that have shown in there before you.
There's been some sorry ones showing there too.
There's been a couple of them. Yep, a couple of them. We won't talk about that though. You know, that's a tricky one. A favorite place to show. You know, there's been a lot of places with good memories. I don't know. Favorite place I lived or visited was probably New Mexico, but not in the wintertime, just because of the scenery.
Right.
I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It's just that's just a cool place. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. That's a good one. What would you say was the most important 5 minutes of your career? And that could be anything from a piece of advice to a certain victory or whatever. But the most important 5 minutes. My wife said it was the 2 horses before she showed Shine Smarter in the herd because they both lost cows.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Mine was a piece of advice that was given to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the most, if we're going with advice, Ron Rawls told me once that I was living in Florida and we were out in San Angelo at the World Show. He told me that I'll never meet anybody that has to have a horse in training. If you think about it, I mean,
That's good
nobody.
advice. That's good advice. I tell you, that thought crossed my mind this week.
Yeah.
This horse show's getting shut down, dadgum NBA shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, surely it's all temporary, but it makes you think. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first thing you're going to trim is the luxuries, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's a really good thing for all of us to remember right there is never going to be anybody that has to have a horse in training. That's outstanding. Well, Robert, I've sure appreciated it, man.
Yep.
Like, really enjoyed it.
Been fun.
I hope everybody else has enjoyed it. And now, here we go. So we're staring at a board here that we don't know how to hit the buttons on.
And Ben's showing.
Thank you, Robert Smith. And look forward to seeing you down the road at the next horse show.
Yep, absolutely.
And till then, go fast. Make good decisions.
So don't forget to go visit our friends Troy and Carrie at Hauser Furniture. Check out our show notes for more information on how you can let Hauser Furniture fill all your housing accessory needs. And make sure you tell them that your friends here at Cowhorse Full Contact sent you their way.
Thank you for listening to Cowhorse Full Contact. Please like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram to stay tuned for future episodes.